Yesterday we were working on the rear radiator. Today we're going to be having a look at the front. So this is the inlet manifold I'm going to be using, which is of a Toyota 1J. Just need to weld it to the lower inlet manifold of the VR. As you can see, it sticks out quite far, so I'm limited by what I can do with radiator fitment. Normally the radiator sits on this part of the subframe, so there's not a lot of room for one, the radiator, and two, an intercooler. You can see it won't fit in a standard factory place, but I can get it to sit kind of there, which is very close to the inlet. So if the engine rocks forward and backwards, it's going to nip the radiator, and it leaves me no room for fans. So I need to try something else. So what the plan is now is to basically remove this part of the subframe and this kind of air ducting part to give me space to drop the radiator down kind of underneath the inlet manifold. And if I can drop it down underneath, I can move it back a little bit. It still gives me some room for some fans, and I can squeeze the intercooler in front. So what I'm going to do now is take the subframe off, just support the engine on that front mount, take this all off and then separate these two bits, and then we'll take it from there and see how much room we've got. Okay, I've removed that part of the subframe which holds the radiator, which should allow me to now drop it down lower, kind of under the inlet manifold. So I'll just put the radiator in place. So I'll just rest on that jack. So that's kind of where it can sit. If I just place the inlet manifold kind of there, that's where it's going to sit. So it can sit just underneath that inlet manifold, but gives me enough room to get it back. And I still should be able to fit a set of fans. Worst case, I'll have to rebuild this part of the cross member and move it so this bar bit is further over, so I can get a set of fans behind it, but we'll see. Depends on what fans I get. That's not a problem. Next, it's the intercooler. Ooh. So that's kind of where it's going to sit. I'm going to cut a hole out of this bar just to allow some airflow through it. I've done the same thing with the bumper. So not this one, but that one. You can see I've just cut a big hole at the middle of it. This is a broken bumper I've got, so I'm just basically playing and trying out different things with it. But in essence, once I've finished it, I'll need to fiberglass it in so it's nice and smooth and looks nice. But as you can see, this one hasn't got the lower grille, and this one does. So I'm using this one to find out how much room I've got actually for the intercooler. If you bring this one back. Ooh. Try not to break anything. I'm going to put the camera down before I do break something. What I want to achieve is I want the intercooler to sit behind this lower part of the grille. I don't want to have to cut that out because I'm not a big fan of some of the Corrado front mount intercoolers which stick out past that. So with the bumper in, I can now sit this kind of on the grille and against the radiator. So that's where that's going to sit. And again, with the hole cut out in the grille, in the bumper, that'll feed enough air through that, and then through the bottom. Happy days. So this will have to probably come over a bit more. So in terms of routing, I'm going to cut along there and weld on another plate so the throttle body's straight out rather than angled, and then I'll have to come quite tight out of the intercooler. I'm probably going to have to use pie cuts and come round 180 degrees and then go into the inlet manifold. And then for the intake of the turbo, I'm going to use 4-inch pipe. Again, pie cuts coming out of here, along down here, and then straight to a filter just here. I struggled with routing the output of the turbo compressor, because where it was rotated round, it sat kind of, the output sat this way. So in terms of trying to route that to the intercooler, I'd have to come along here, because it was so close to the rocker cover. I couldn't do a 90 and go past this groove a bit, so I was blocked that way. And I couldn't come straight and then go across because the fuel lines are in the way. Going that way is quite long routing, and I'd have to go down and back round again. So I spun the turbo round, and again, all very tight back there. But what I'll have to do is again come out at a 90, pie cuts so I can get a nice tight angle. Come along, down, past the alternator, and then down through there. I think I've just got enough room to get a 2.5 inch pipe out of the compressor into the intercooler into a 3-inch, and then I'll come out 3-inch into the throttle body, which actually goes into a 3.5 inch. It's an R32 throttle body, so I think it's 85 mil. So yeah, that's the plan. So what I've got to do is order some aluminium piping, and then figure out how to do pie cuts, because I think that's going to be the easiest way, rather than trying to use a multitude of kind of short radius bends and silicone hoses, which I don't think look very nice, and I don't think I'm going to achieve the bend radius I need anyway. So I think pie cuts are the way forward. It'll be fun trying it anyway, so we'll give it a bash. Right guys, that's it for this video. So it's speech time, usual stuff. If you've liked it, give it a like. If you want to see more, please hit subscribe. But other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, bye.